Well, good morning, boys and girls. I'm having to do my intro from my GoPro on my chest. Already started fishing here. I actually broke the little mic holder that holds my mic on top of my big camera. I'm gonna have to super glue that back together. It'll be about the 5th time I've done that. So don't got my big camera with me today. Well, I do, but the audio would be horrible. So we're gonna start on the chest. Just starting out with a little Bandit 200 here. Gonna see if these fish have finally started kind of a fall pattern, will eat a cranking bite. And if they will, we probably got a good chance of catching some pretty good kind of late fall, early winter type of fish, cranking a little crankbait today. And if they won't do that, we'll just have to figure out what they're gonna do. So hopefully you guys will enjoy today's episode. All right, it's 1 o'clock. There's one. And we're catching this. Now, I ain't never seen nothing like that.
That's all your mother was.
Oh, sorry. Look at that fish blinding one eye. He's doing all right for himself to be blinding one eye, you know?
I don't understand why they want to hit this spinnerbait.
Profile must maybe be too big.
Yeah, he said the reason he wants to.
There we go.
Huh? Got it?
Yep.
Hey, that's a good one.
God, dude, he's kicked my ass.
Smallmouth.
Yep.
You want the net? You don't need a net, dude.
I can't tell.
He's that big. He might be too fast. You want a net?
Come off that tree right there. Throw on them trees. I got this. I got him hooked in, I'm pretty sure. I barely got him hooked. I got it. Yep. Come here, you. Well, hell, he just flopped out. Come here. Stop. Stop. Blue? On the wood? Dang, dude. You got some teeth, son. Got some teeth.
Oh God, there's one with it. Throw in there, dude. That's a spot, I think. Right here is behind the boat. There's always largemouth on this bank. There you go. Yep.
There you go.
That's a keeper.
Yeah. All right, there you go, guys. Wasn't recording for that one, but healthy little chunker. All right, guys, I'll put him back. I wish I was recording for that one. He's sitting around the backside point, wasn't he? Look at me. There's one. God, dude, get the net. Yes. Did I get
God, I got a big one too, Alex.
Okay.
This is a damn monster.
Yeah, I got a monster too. Okay. Oh, damn, Dice. Look. Okay. Just hold what you got here, okay? Make it work. Do this before we do it again. Okay.
Oh, that's very good.
Okay. Oh.
That was big. You get this one. Get this.
Okay, I gotta hit mine.
This is big.
Dad, don't horse it. Don't horse it. Just let it be. Let it be. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yes! Yes! That's what I'm talking about.
Yes! Hey, come here.
That's why you don't ever give up, son.
Oh, man. I mean...
Watch him, he got him.
Hey.
Full hook.
Look at that. Good job. Here, you go ahead and grab him real quick from me, and I'll get my fish out here. Look at this, guys. That's how you double up right there. That's funny. Mine's like 1.5 pounds, maybe. Dad's is a dadgum stud, so we'll put him back. Now, let's see what she weighs. Zeros.
Easy. That fish is closer to 4.5.
Yeah. 4 pounds 11 ounces. You want to do it one more time?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Go ahead. 4 pounds 10 that time.
Almost about 10.
There you go, guys. 410.
That's a good.
All right. There you go, guys. There she goes. Hi. Wicked. I didn't put a GoPro or a battery in my GoPro because I'd all but gave up, which you never do. That was my mistake. And me and Dad just doubled up, and he caught a 4. I caught about 1.5 pounds, almost 2. And yeah, they just have turned on all of a sudden. I don't really know what the deal is, but they've started eating. So we're gonna keep on keeping on here and see if we can put a couple more big ones in the boat like that 4-pounder. There he is. Yep. Nah. Yeah, he's decent though. He's trying to come up and shake it. Look at him trying to come up. Look at him. He's getting knackered by. What?
He ain't rid of it.
Yeah.
Good fish, dude.
Yeah. Come here, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been like him oven.
Yeah. Dude, right up there in about 1 inch of water. There's that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that fish catching footage. I kind of wanted to take a moment and talk about some of the factors that played into us catching those fish, the mentality I had that day and why it's not a good one to have while you're fishing, especially in the fall, and then talk about the gear that we were using to catch those fish. So let's get right into it with the mentality that I had and why it's not a good one to have. So as you heard me say, I made the comment that I'd almost gave up on the day, which I had. It was a rough day. Now I know the fish catching footage doesn't say that it was a rough day, but you know, it's hard to convey the entirety of the day in a video very, very well, especially when it was kind of rainy, it was kind of nasty. I broke the mic off the top of my camera, so I didn't really have a chance to talk to you guys. That day kind of came together weird, so I thought I would do a review here and kind of talk about it. So let's talk about the day as a whole. Got there around 7:38. Fish, crank, finesse, a little bit of everything, a little bit of topwater. Didn't get my first bite until around 11:30, 12 o'clock on the little Bandit. Is the first little smallmouth that you guys saw. Fish. Didn't get another bite until around, no, the first one you saw was the little largemouth, and then the smallmouth was the second one. Didn't get that bite till around 1:30 or 2. So, you know, fished a lot of hours, not a lot of production there, catching small fish. I was kind of letting my mind get to me, telling me we're not going to catch fish, which is something that you should never do. And usually I'm pretty positive. I usually am, you know, go until there ain't no going left to do. But for some reason that day I just kind of let it get to me. But as you saw, Dad was kind of pushing me, saying, you know, can't give up. Let's keep going, which is very important. You know, surround yourselves with anglers that are you're going to push you to do better than you know that you can do. That's really with anything in life. Just surround yourself with good people. But get down to 1:30, 2 o'clock. About 2 to 2:30 is when we got on those bigger than average largemouth, started catching those quality largemouth, filled out our limit. In between about 2:30 to 3:30, 4 o'clock is when those fish really fed well. We kind of got on that pattern of running those wind-blown points, those wind-blown rock banks, and started catching those fish. So that mentality that I had that I was going to give up and that we weren't going to catch fish is not a good one, especially in the fall, just because of the way the fall is. The fall is such a transitional period. There's so many changes going on right now. The water temperature's dropping, the water temperature's rising, the days are getting shorter, the temps outside are dropping and raising and dropping and raising. There's so much going on that those fish, number one, their biological ticker and their instincts are telling them we have to feed. The days are getting shorter, the temperatures are fluctuating, winter's coming. I need to go feed, I need to go eat as much as I can to prepare for winter. And then number two, they run off of that biological clock and those instincts. So at any moment throughout the day, whether it be 8 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon, they could transition up, they could start to feed, and there's factors that play into it, the way the wind's blowing, the way the weather is, the way the sun is, but there's going to be a time throughout the day that those fish move up and feed just because they have to. Their instincts make them go feed, and so in my mind, I wasn't thinking these fish are going to transition up at some point and feed. I just gave up on the day, which is something that you never need to do. If there's a piece of advice I can give a lot of guys, it's never give up. Iaconelli says it best when he screams it. But never give up. Always stay positive and know that at some point, definitely during the fall time, that those fish are going to feed and there's going to be a chance to catch those bigger and better than average fish, just like we did with Dad's 411. Now, for the factors that played into it and where we were catching those fish at, wind blowing secondary points in pockets. I mean, just fall as fall can get. We were catching those fish that were transitioning into the backs of the pockets, that were using those secondary points and those secondary rock kind of bluffy walls as transitional areas and ambush points to ambush bait and crawfish, and it was just as fall can get. And that's really kind of a factor that played into it, especially towards the end of the day. The wind kind of changed direction just enough where it started to blow in on those secondary points, and those fish transitioned up and they started to feed, as you guys saw. Now, the equipment that we were using, I was using a little Bandit 200 in a crawl pattern. I'm really not sure what this pattern is actually called. I don't think that Bandit actually makes it anymore, but this is one of my favorite little colors that they make. Just a great crawl representation, really natural, but still has that pink flash on the bottom so you guys can get that reaction bite. And then Dad was throwing a Spro Rock Crawler and a Strike King 3XD in a very similar color. The only difference on his was that the belly of his was chartreuse. Now, one important thing that I did do this bait is change out those hooks and split rings. I went with Owner Hyper Wires and number 6 Mustad triple grip pin, the KVD hooks. That just is to make sure that when that fish eats it, I'm getting a good hook in them. I've got good split rings, good hooks. Nothing's going to come apart, nothing's going to break, and I'm going to be able to get those bigger than average fish into the boat. And then I'm running 10-pound copolymer P-Line CXX to be specific on my 7.5-foot G-Rod Game Changer cranking rod. If you guys don't know about this rod, I'll link a video up here and down below so you guys can go watch it about this rod. It's an amazing rod. It's the rod that I use for cranking small body crankbaits. And then a Lew's Custom Pro 6:8:1 gear ratio. Just, again, a great little reel. The whole video that I did about my cranking system, I'll link it so you guys can go watch it. It really explains in depth why I choose what I do here. But yeah, that's it. That's kind of what the day consisted of. It was a cold, wet, middle of a front, fall kind of fishing day, and it ended up paying off, and I'm glad that I stayed with it. I'm glad that I could keep my mentality going in the right direction. I'm glad I was fishing with my dad and somebody that is always a good fishing partner to me, because it was times like that day that I needed that extra little, hey, dude, stay with it because something good is going to happen. And for you guys that are out there fishing this time of year, that is the best piece of advice I can give you, is stay with it, because I promise you something good is going to happen. But as always, guys, thank you for watching. Any questions or comments, please go leave them in the comment section down below. If you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that little subscribe button, that like button, and that little notification bell. The notification bell is huge. It'll let you guys know when I put out all of my videos. YouTube's been acting silly lately and not giving you guys notifications. But as always, you guys are sweet, and thank you for watching.